A 9-year karmic cycle has just come to an end. We are now entering completion of the cycle that has been running in the background and controlling our lives for such a long time, without us even knowing it as well. Not until I've come to complete this cycle and burn out the karma and become aware of the patterns I have been stuck in and repeating for so long, did I understand that I was a slave to these patterns. Because if you cannot see outside of what's the operating system you're currently operating on, or the patterns you keep repeating, then you do not know another way. You're simply running off your default, which predominantly comes from safety. We develop patterns and we develop behaviors and ways of attachment through our childhood in a way it's completely safety. It's a safety mechanism. So what I'm going to be speaking about today is I'm going to be going in a bit more depth about this karmic cycle that has just been completed, how to know that you are that you have just completed the cycle, or how to know whether you've been running off this same operating system that I'm going to be speaking about. And yeah, just to give you a deeper understanding of what's actually been going on the background and what to expect now moving forward. It's a little bit windy now, the wind's coming towards me, so it shouldn't be too bad on the microphone, but yeah, we're going to get straight into it. So what I think this 9-year karmic cycle has been all about, it's definitely been about relationships and attachment styles. So for me personally, I would be categorized as the anxious avoidant. So I don't know what I feel about these terms. I think it's just a way to subcategorize a specific form of attachment style or character traits. But you have got to read between the lines with these things, because humans are complex. You don't really identify as a specific thing because you might operate different in different relationships. But I'm going to break this down for you now. I'm not a relationship coach, by the way, and isn't professional advice. This is just based off my own experience. So me being what they would call an attachment, an anxious avoidant, is the things, but as soon as they trigger a specific attachment wound, which was, I think it was starting out, it was the abandonment wound from my father. So I had an attachment wound through obviously abandonment with my father and the lack of emotional connection to my father, which wounded me as a child. And then there was also the mother wound, which is the last one that I completed. So the abandonment wound was the one playing in the background at the start, but the most prevalent one, the most recent one that I have actually overcome, which I didn't actually know it was a wound. It was the mother wound. So this is more so like listening to authority, or feeling like you have to abandon yourself or betray yourself in order to please or seek validation or love from them. Because you fear in your mind, you think, if I don't give them, as the man, it is my duty to be masculine and provide and support and give this woman everything she wants. Because we convinced ourselves as men and society that we need to betray ourselves, sacrifice ourselves, abandon ourselves in order to keep this woman happy, give this woman everything she wants and needs. And that's that wound that's been playing out. We believe that we are the saviors, and we need to be fixing these wounded women that we're coming in contact with. And it's not our job. It's not our job to do that. Your healing is your responsibility. So if you enter a relationship and you're projecting your wounds onto that other person, unless you're holding a safe space and willing to speak about and communicate these things and work through them, it's not fair. It's your duty to heal yourself. Nobody else can do that for you. A relationship and a partner is a perfect way to mirror these wounds back to you, for you to then take yourself away and do the work internally within yourself. But if you have two unhealed, I don't want to say masculine and feminine, because we both hold masculine and feminine qualities, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to use that. So say if you have a wounded feminine and a wounded masculine, it's going to be very, very difficult just in love and union with each other, because you're both unhealed and you both have wounds. From my experience, I don't actually believe, I've had 5 partners now. That just goes to show how long this cycle's been going on for, which I was all convinced, I was so convinced I was in love with these people. Like it was like intoxicating. I wanted to be around them all the time. The connection was magnetic, but it was almost too intense and too magnetic, because it pulled me off my center, and it actually pulled me away from my mission. It took away my peace. I had to sacrifice myself, betray myself, abandon myself. Well, I didn't have to do anything, but that's what, in order for that relationship to flourish and stay alive, that's what I had to do, because the woman was wounded as well. But I was unaware of this behavior at the time. I would be feeling like I always needed to reassure these women, because on the polar opposite of my attachment style was the avoidant, the anxious attach. So she was always wanting validation and reassurance from me, and I was always there to give it her. in turn betraying myself, abandoning myself. And it's not until you become aware of these patterns and these wounds that you break free. Awareness is the key to set yourself free. But yeah, fellas, it's not your job to be constantly cleaning up after a woman's mess. It's not your job to be constantly abandoning yourself in order to impress, or like peacocking more, like you want to be the best role model or masculine frame. But masculinity doesn't look like that. In order to actually stand present and take care of a woman, you need to be healed and regulated in your own energy. You need to be safe within yourself. If you get an attachment style, because I was always mistaken for, so I was always mistaking this intoxicating magnetic energy, this chaos. I was always mistaking chaos for love, because that was my wound at play. So I was actually attracted and connected to these women through my wound, rather so unconditional love, because I was like, surely this isn't what love is. Like, I'm able to just cut these women off as soon as I get triggered, or like, don't get me wrong, it wouldn't just be one thing and I'm off. I mean, it will normally compound, but then I can quite easily just pull myself away, shut off, and just completely break free from these women. But I think subconsciously I knew that that's actually what it was. It was a wound that I was needed to be made aware of, and I needed to operate differently and see it for what it is, and then choose to act differently on that wound the next time. So you've just got to simply break free from the pattern. One, you need self-awareness. You need to understand this is not love. This is simply my trauma and my wounds replaying over and over again and manifesting in so you're repeating the same energy. She's just wearing a different human costume. So until you heal that wound, you will be repeating that same cycle and over again. And this is the cycle that, if you're listening to this, you'll probably recognize you've had something familiar happen in your life right now, where you've come in contact with someone, they've triggered this, and you've recognized the pattern this time. Rather than reacting negatively or deciding to run away and pull away and avoid, this time you've been able to recognize and correct that pattern. And that's the first step to healing. Now, I believe the next part in that comes along, because I know now what I will and won't tolerate. I know what I expect in them. I know what true love I expect from love. If you talk about unconditional love, you say you only get that from your mother. I disagree. Why can't someone who is healed and understands their attachment wounds be in a place to provide or give unconditional love, transmit unconditional love? If you feel unconditional love for yourself, then that means you are then able to reciprocate that energy with a partner. If you do not feel unconditional love for yourself, you do not feel safe, you are not regulated in your energy, and trauma still lives in the body, because the body keeps the score. Remember this, all right? So your mind and heart, you might say, oh yeah, I recognize it, I see it. But if your nervous system is still holding that trauma, you've not got inner stability, that wound's going to get triggered. Body isn't regulated, and you're still holding that trauma and that wound within your nervous system, then that's going to get activated every time you come in contact with that same archetypal energy, that woman. So healing the nervous system is going to set you free. That's going to allow you to create inner stability, find peace within yourself, and then allow yourself to create that container and that space to hold that woman. Because what feminine energy is chaotic as it is. So if you're not regulated in yourself, if you're not grounded and you've got your inner peace and inner stability, you're not going to be able to support her. You're not going to be able to hold space. And this doesn't mean pick up the pieces of her emotional instability, because that's how the wounded woman would act and expect. It's more so you can hold space and hold a container. They feel safe around you in order to express themselves freely, not project their emotions onto you, more so express themselves freely in a way that feels safe and is open and receptive. So as the masculine, yeah, we have feminine qualities as well. We don't need to be all this leader, provider shit. That needs to die. We want to leave that in 2025. Like, just because you're a man doesn't mean that you're obliged to pay all the money and do all the hard work and grind. Yeah, we're physically attributed. So yeah, we'll probably take that role on naturally. Beat up by the bikes. But in terms of like the masculine and feminine, you might meet a woman and she might have stronger masculine qualities and you might have stronger feminine qualities. Me, only recently, till I surrendered to this energy, I recognize that I have very, very strong what we would call feminine qualities. Although there is no masculine and feminine qualities, there's just qualities. But for the sake of this video, for you to understand deeper, I'm going to express it like that. I have like, my feminine qualities are very strong. I'm very intuitive. I love like just being in being in my in peace, just in silence. I love just being. I love just sitting. I love just being receptive. I love just sitting and learning. I love like all these feminine. I love that. I love that space. Yeah, I have my masculine qualities as well to put will and assert myself and take action and make progress and set goals. I have all that as well, but you need to balance and harmonize these energies in order to live freely. If you are suppressing certain traits within yourself because you believe that they are feminine or they are not, or because you are a man you shouldn't be acting like this, then that's also societal programming. So that's also the wounds at play, because you're not being your full authentic self. There is no, you cannot categorize yourself as like masculine or feminine, because we all have these individual qualities within ourselves, and even just like some are stronger than other, but in certain situations they move. Like one have to apply some will. You might have to apply some intent. You might have to take some action, and then the other day you might just want to sit and be receptive and just chill and be passive and relax and drink your tea and put your comfy clothes on and not really do fuck all, and that's fine. But every day is different. Every moment's different. So yeah, in terms of like portraying yourself as masculine and feminine, I think that's also a wound we all need to recognize and heal, because we're all authentic and we're all different, and we're all characterized different, and we all operate differently under different circumstances, in different seasons, at different times. So we need to recognize that, and we need to just allow ourselves to be how we are feeling in the moment, and then from then on it doesn't really matter. You can characterize that however you want. The only makeup we carry as masculine and feminine is the biology. Beyond that, it is simply just character traits, and they move freely. However the life force wants to express these specific character traits it isn't really up to you. So you've got to learn to surrender to that flow. But back to the 9-year karmic cycle. So yeah, recognizing these patterns, I've recognized a lot of people have been going through the same things at the similar time around about the back end of this year to complete this cycle, to set us up for our soulmate. So the next woman that comes along, fellas, you should know by now, you should recognize the energy. You should not be tricked or fooled by chaos in thinking it is love. You should understand your boundaries, understand what you do and don't tolerate, understand that you only welcome in unconditional love only. Somebody who's there, and like when I say loyalty used to be like a trait or a value of mine. I wanted a loyal woman. But if they feel love for you on an unconditional level and it is authentic, that is a byproduct of unconditional love. If you think about your mother, or if you've got siblings or your younger cousins, like any family that you love unconditionally, loyalty comes as a byproduct. If they're in trouble, you're not going to think about it, you're going to act upon that immediately, and you're going to be concerned about the well-being and welfare. So why should I not expect that from a woman? I am not willing to tolerate, or I am not willing to welcome in anything less. I would rather be on my own. Solitude is my sacred space. So for me to welcome you into that solitude and into my space, you need to be bringing something that's going to actually equip me and move me forward and add on and bring value to my life and actually add something in, rather than just taking my energy and sucking my life force and causing me chaos and drama. Like, I've been through all that. I ain't willing to tolerate that shit anymore. So I know what I do and don't tolerate, and I know what I will and won't welcome in. So unless it's going to be adding on to my life and propelling me forward on my mission and my purpose and bringing me peace and bringing me love, then it's not welcome into 2026. This is the kind of energy we want to be carrying around, fellas. And even if you're a woman and you're watching this, I think it's the same applies on, it's vice versa. But yeah, fellas, when you want to be taking this energy into 2026, don't tolerate anything less. If you've done the work, you've recognized the pattern, you've healed the wound, then this is your time now. You're welcoming soulmate energy only. And this is not even just woman, soulmate energy from your boys as well. You should only expect that from your men. Unconditional love, loyalty. You stand by my side in war. Otherwise, what I'm not going to waste my time with you, because that's how I am. That's how I've always been. And it's not, the energy has not been reciprocated throughout my life, because so that led me to being betrayed and hurt and feeling abandoned. The same wound again, because I'm connecting to these, not even have to be a female, these males as well. I'm connecting to these males, even just the female partners in my friendships as well. They're triggering that exact same wound, the abandonment and the betrayal. So because I'm having to overextend in order to please these people, I'm being a people pleaser, like a little puppy dog, trying to impress these people and gain the respect and the validation, and then it's not being reciprocated, and I'm being left feeling betrayed and hurt. Because I'm always leading with my heart. I always have done, and I can only go cold and stay closed for so long, and then it just feels unnatural. Then I can't do it. I'm only it feels like I'm harming myself by doing that. So I always have to walk with my heart wide open, and I'm welcoming in everything that is going to be aligned with that energy. But if it's not, it isn't. I am going to recognize it instantly now. And I've cleared out a lot of my friendship group as well. It's just happened automatically, I think. So we've spoken a lot about relationships, but even your friendships, if you've noticed, like friends dropping off and people just exiting and leaving your life out of nowhere, and you're just feeling like every time you meet them feels like the last time you're going to see them. You can't explain why, but it feels like, yeah, it's kind of a closing of a chapter. And a lot of people just falling off naturally now, and they just, yeah, the energies, there's no resonance there. They can't connect. You're not on the same frequency. It's not that you're above them or anything like that. It's simply that your frequencies aren't aligned anymore. If you resonated with this, this is the fucking energy we're going to bring it into this new year. It's soul tribe only, soulmates only, because I'm willing to fucking die for the people that I love, and I always have been. I can't help like that. I love deeply, but that means I get hurt deeply. So that means I'm not willing to sacrifice or betray myself ever again. Now I've recognized the pattern. So yeah, end of 9-year karmic cycle complete. Bada bing, bada boom. We're going to take this year's fucking head off. I hope you're locked in with me. I mean, I'm feeling some good energy about this year. The past like 2 months have been not really been much doing. I've been stagnant. I've not had no energy to do it. I've not wanted to do anything, but this time round I've surrendered to that. I've not let my mind take over and say I should be doing X, Y, and Z. I've killed the hustle culture. I've killed that. I'm just moving with the flow now. We're in flow state, but that's what they would call feminine. Like, if you're listening to me now, so yeah, I'm going to sign out on that one because we're touching on 20 minutes there. Yeah, peace, Earth ones. Take that energy and listen. Lock that in now. Lock that in. End of the cycle. We're only welcoming soul tribe only. If you're happy with your peace, you're happy with your solitude, don't settle for anything less. Keep your standards very, very high because you deserve it. You've got that energy around. You've got that aura. You're gonna become magnetic now once you've healed these things. And listen, be open-minded to everything that comes your way. All right, peace, love, blessings. I'll see you on the other side. Signing out, Earth ones.